My name is Melanie. I am a senior in high school, and I have always had a lot of friends and girlfriends. I have no problem finding common ground with people at all, and to be included in different social groups. I do ballroom dancing, take vocal lessons, and never miss a single party or event. Until that happened. One time, I got held up at practice and was walking home through the park at night. It was very dark outside and no one was around. Suddenly, I heard some strange noise. The dust rose and I saw a flash of light. A shadow appeared in front of me, and then it was as if I fell asleep. You'll find out what happened next in a minute. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure you click the bell so you'll know when there's a new video coming out. What happened next? I don't remember at all. But I woke up in my bed this morning. I was a little scared, but I thought it was just a dream. But that same day, something strange began to happen. At first, everything was normal. I was sitting in a lecture and writing notes. But suddenly, my classmates jumped up from their seats and surrounded me. They looked at me frightened and asked if I was okay. It turned out that in the middle of the class, I got up from behind my desk and started dropping notes and pens on the floor. I didn't believe them until they showed me the video. On it, I was acting inadequately, throwing my workbooks around and muttering something to myself. But the worst part was that I had no memory of it at all. It was as if my body didn't belong to me at that moment. I barely made it to the end of class, and then I went home upset. At home, I cried all night in shame and shock. How this could have happened? The next day, when I went to my dance class, everything happened again. At one point, I stopped practicing and started running around the gym doing laps. Then, I put on someone else's jacket and went home in ballet point shoes. I decided not to go to high school for the rest of the week and to practice at home. But I couldn't miss any singing lesson. The first half of the lesson was fine, but then it was like my body stopped belonging to me again. When I woke up, I realized that I was standing in the middle of the street, singing children's songs, and passerbys were staring at me in bewilderment. That was the end. Now the whole college thought I was crazy. People started to avoid me, and I had the feeling that something was controlling me from inside. After analyzing everything, I decided that night, on my way back from practice, I had come across a real spirit in the park who had possessed me and was sometimes rampaging, controlling me, or aliens. Perhaps they had abducted me that night, implanted a chip in my head, and were now controlling me from a distance? How angry I was! I knew that now I would have to stay at home, so as not to embarrass myself in front of people, studying, singing, dancing, all within the walls of my room. And it was awful. A week went by. I wanted to howl with loneliness, but what could I do? And suddenly, I woke up and saw that I was standing on the street. My parents were standing next to me, completely frightened. It turned out that I had put on a carnival costume in the night and went out into the yard, where I was shouting songs in an incomprehensible language. It was horrible, and my mom decided to take me to the hospital. Frankly, I didn't believe that a doctor would help me at all. I would rather go to a specialist who can do spiritualism session to drive out the evil spirit. But how could I tell my mom that? The doctor ordered general tests and started asking me about my daily routine. When I said that all the time I study and work out, all I eat is coffee and sandwiches, and sleep I have no more than 5 hours a day, the doctor shook his head and prescribed me an 8-hour nap and vitamins. At first, I did not believe him. What does sleep deprivation have to do with someone living in my body? But I was out of options. The whole week I slept a lot, ate well, and took my vitamins. And a miracle happened. The doctor says that if I am overworked, my consciousness shuts down, and my body continues to perform the familiar movements, singing, dancing. Yes, now I feel better when I have rested. So far, I have not noticed any strange things about myself, but I'm sure that something is not clear here. Maybe the doctor is also at one with this spirit or aliens? What do you think? Write to me. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts.
Hi, my name is Dory, and I'm going to tell you something very exciting. My mom and I live in a poor neighborhood because we have to save money. When I was about 13, I started noticing that the guys on my block were looking at me strangely. They whistled at me, whispered when I walked, and then laughed out loud. I told my mom about it. She said that because I was growing up fast, guys started paying attention to me, and it's dangerous. She told me what they could do to me if they stopped me in a dark alley late at night. My daughter, you're very pretty. You're attracting the attention of older guys, and that could end badly. My mom bought me baggy clothes, some baseball caps, and even dark glasses. When I got dressed, I hardly recognized myself in the mirror, and the guys in the neighborhood didn't recognize me too. But it turned out my attractiveness was a bone in the throat for my classmates too. One day, the sassiest ones decided to make fun of Rosie, my only friend. And she, unlike me, never bothered of what others would think of her. But she better did. It didn't end well.
Before I go any further, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure you click on the bell so you'll know when there's a new video coming out.
I once walked into a lady's room and saw these snooty chicks writing something with lipstick on the wall. Oh no, they were writing nasty things about Rosie. I stood up for her. Leave Rosie alone. She didn't do anything to you. Uh-oh. What? Our Miss Universe got a big mouth all of a sudden? Oh, just wait. I am not done with you too. And they ran out of the ladies' room with loud laughter. And the next day, I was called to the principal. He showed me a picture of the very wall in the bathroom that said, in red lipstick, "Principal Billman is an ugly jerk."
There was a complaint against you. There are witnesses who saw you write it. I don't even have lipstick, I protested. The principal shook out the contents of my bag, and at the bottom was the same bright red lipstick. I knew who had planted it. The principal suspended me from classes for a whole week, and no arguments helped, but it gave me time to come up with a revenge plan. Courtney was the meanest girl, and she'd been dating Peter for a long time. He ran the school newspaper. I knew he'd stayed late at school because the weekly paper took up a lot of his time. A week later, I shoved all my baggy clothes deep into my closet, found my most revealing dress, styled my hair nicely, and did a flashy makeup. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I was so beautiful. Everyone at school was shocked. No one had ever seen me like that before. And the guys looked at me with interest. Everyone went home after classes, and I followed Peter and saw him hurrying to his newsroom. I waited half an hour and knocked on his door quietly. Peter was sitting at his desk, typing something on his computer. "Hi, Peter." I shot him a glance. "Hi." Peter looked at me curiously. He had a reputation as a womanizer at school, but Courtney kept him on a short leash. "I came to tell you that I love the way you write and your paper." I walked over to him and sat down on the table. Tilting my head playfully, Peter looked at my figure appreciatively. "You're a cool girl, Dory. If it wasn't for Courtney, I'd hook up with you." "So go for it. I like you too, Peter." I leaned over to him and wrapped one arm around his neck and kissed him right on the lips. At that moment, my loyal best friend Rosie snapped a picture of us kissing on her phone. She was waiting in the hallway the whole time to snap the right moment. When Peter saw her, he jumped up and waved his arms. "What are you doing?" "Courtney is going to kill me." But it was too late. A minute later, the photo appeared on Instagram. Rosie tagged Peter in it. And then the whole thing just took off like a rocket. The photo collected a record number of likes and comments within an hour. And I got a threatening email from Courtney. I knew that now I better not go back to this school. That's why I already transferred to another school a week ago. So now I'm getting acquainted with everyone. But this time, I'm not hiding behind baggy clothes. On the contrary, I wear whatever I want. And I am not afraid of anyone. Let them only try to offend me. I'll fight back. What would you do if you were me? Would you take revenge on Courtney? Or would you come up with something else? Please tell me. I am very curious.